Hi, my name is Stefano Beccari and I'm from Europe and born in Italy but living in Sweden, and now since 10 years back having my home in Mamalapura.
You were born in 1944 in Italy.
In Italy, yes.
Then Sweden.
I moved to Sweden when I was 26.
And then India.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So how much time you spent in Italy?
6 years.
6 years.
Because I spent 19 years in South America.
19 years in South America.
My first 19 years.
Tell me about your journey, how it began.
Well, my journey is very simple. My family was, my father was an architect. He moved, during the war, he moved to South America just to save himself. And I was born in Italy, and I was taken to South America quite early. And then we start traveling around. And well, my mother was married twice. My father married 3 times, so just going all around like that. And we landed in Italy. I went to university studying economy, and then at 26 years old, I just said, well, look at behind me. I said, do I want to stay here, make my life in Italy? Italy is a beautiful country, but only if you have money to spend. That's a beautiful country, much money to spend. At that point you get to it. But if you have to earn money and you are young and you have, you don't have a really enormous desire of ambition to be something within the category of people that earns money in Italy, so there's no point. So I went to Sweden because Sweden was a country I didn't know. And I didn't know the language, and it was very far from both Italy and South America. And I said, if I have to start something, I will start in Sweden. And I started there 50 years ago, just in working. I always worked with art. So should have been only 3 years, and it became, well, since 1970, there will be. Now, until now, so it's quite a lot of time, 54 years or something like that. And then it's very easy. Sweden is very interesting from the cultural way of thinking. Swedes they like to make things together. So they make clubs, they make what they call the collective workshops. Like we have here, representative or collective culture. Well, there are some artists that join together and they say, well, we are interested in stone, but if you have to sculpt in stone, you have to have in a way, you have to have tools, you have to have space. A space is not in town because you're not supposed to do that. And this outside, you have to get the stone there, you have to have the electricity good, you have a compressor, everything. This is a little too expensive for one single artist. But if you're 80, 100, 150, 200 artists, at that point much easier. And we are specialists in that. And when you have a group of so many artists, it's easy often to get support from the city, or from the region, or from the state. This, in Sweden is, the society tries to support its members. And they can support it because we have taxes. We pay 55% of your income is in taxes, so you just have quite a little money to go back. That goes back to the persons. And then there is this collectivity or thinking. Collectivity thinking is because of the climate. The climate is tough. If you need all the arms of everybody to be able to collect food to survive the winter. Traditionally, they were farmers or fishermen or so they needed, and they couldn't work during 5 months a year, 4 or 5. So they have to collect food for this. And so you need all the arms possible, so you don't want conflicts within family or without the little society, and so they are very good at helping each other, very, very good at that point. There's a kind of psychology that's completely natural. I think it's a little thing like here in the community, in the farmers' community, where most people help each other. I know only the south part, I don't know the north part. You know it much better than me. And so the southern part, this kind of villages, and especially a lot of villages, they have the same religion or the same truth or something, same sect and so on. And they work together. And in that way they survive under conditions that are quite tough. Because here it's tough to have water, tough to have green and so on. So that's that, and then being, so I had the possibility of, I got the chance to come into a kind of community, into the kind of gallery. I was interested. I'm a rather good organizer. So I just got in a gallery. I became a curator for the gallery for 30 years, 25, 28 years. And then I started with curating exhibitions outside the gallery, outside Europe, Sweden, outside Europe, and being at the same time printmaker. And 35 years ago, one friend of mine convinced me, he took me to an island in Sweden that's called Gotland. Gotland is a limestone island. Everything is limestone. And he said, give me an instrument and say, well, make something. After 3 hours, I decided, well, this is my way of making. But I was 40 years old. I mean, you can never become a stone sculptor from the very young age, very seldom. So you're just always a little older. And so it took for me 5 years to shift from a rather, not rich, but rather tranquil life, economically tranquil life as it had it before, to a totally different life. Because stone sculptors are the poets of the art. They have all the expenses first, and then the income, if it comes after years. That's a plain thing. And it happened exactly for me, exactly the same way. But being able to organize, and I have been traveling a lot and so on, about 30 years ago, 96, 25 years ago. So I grounded this kind of business, not business, as a company. It's called Global Stone Workshop. Global Stone Workshop was at the very beginning a two-man organization. One Dutch friend of mine and me. But my Dutch friend, he didn't like. He liked a region in Sweden that is called the granite region, and so we shared the world after 15-20 days of the idea, because the basic idea was that we are working as a stone sculptors. We are working in different countries because the different countries have different stones. So, and instead of buying the stone and taking the stone to us, we say, well, we go to the country. It's much funnier, yes. It's less expensive, and is just is developing. And he said, no, come on, we divide the world. I take this region of Sweden, and you take the rest of the world. And the basic was that if the ideas are good, they survive. If the ideas are not good, we just cancel the whole thing. That's the reason why we never asked money from any region or Swedish or Italian, or especially in the common market in Sweden, in Europe. Our idea is fantastic. We could earn a lot of millions of people because we connect with artists in different countries, artists that have workshops in their place. And they have already a little organization there. So, and at that point, everybody's coming here. They want to be coming to the photos. So, and it was perfect. And we work on their premises. We work in different different culture environments, and we do different things. So we said, okay, we move that. We have been working with them for years. Now we open these gardens for other artists. You must think that a stone workshop is a rather closed place, because if you're not known, you never. Yeah, you can knock at the door, come in, but that's it. Yeah. But you can't work. Why? Because people must give you attention, and attention is time, and time is money, as usual. So they're not interested in having more people there. And for us, instead, having these workshops organized by us, we could move 8, 9, 10 artists to a certain workshop and make them work there. So next time, when 1 year after, some months after, when they went there and knocked at the door, everybody knew them, and they knew what kind of routine you have there as a quantity. That's what's important. So we had a kind of we started with 2 countries, and I started. I mean, that's me. I started with 2 countries, and then it became more and more countries, and then we eliminate countries because you got experience. Somebody is. As I told you I didn't tell you before, but the goal is not making money. The goal is opening the world of sculptures to artists that would like to make sculpture, but have no chance of doing it. That was the goal, earning money. But of course, we came in contact with workshops. For them, the money was the most important thing, and I didn't find their philosophy especially interesting, and so it came in conflict with my philosophy. So after a couple of years, I just closed them away. So now we are working in 6 countries, and we work in this way. I collect applications to work a certain stone, and then application is marble in Italy, for example, or limestone in Portugal, could be alabaster in Spain, limestone in Sweden, and India. Now, India is a special chapter, because I came here, I was invited to come here by an Indian artist that I invited to Italy for about 14 years ago, to one of my workshops and one of my symposia. I invited him to Italy, and his name is Sharad Kapushar from Pune, from Maharashtra. One of the big artists, really big artists. He made the sculpture, the bronze sculpture that is in Mumbai's new airport, the gigantic 8 million. He cast it himself, everything. So he didn't at home, just figured it out. He's a really good artist. So I invited him, and then then there was no contact for some years, and then at a certain point, for about 10 years ago, he just told me there was UCA, one of those university institutions in Pune, astrophysics. They wanted to have a kind of festival connected to Galileo Galilei, the discovery of the moon's crates. There was 400 years of that before. And so he contacted them, and they said, okay, take 10 artists from Europe and take them here. We give the block, we give the thing, what in there, they sculpt that, they sculpt the sculpture connected to this kind of things. And so he called me, of course, and I took 9 people from Europe, 5 women and 5 men, and we went to Pune for 15 days. And the experience was fantastic. Really fantastic. For me, it was just like that. Well, Stefano, you're 65 years old. Now you must think about what's happening in the nearest 50 years, more or less. So I found myself, so I said to myself, well, I will not leave India before I find a place where to work. Maharashtra was not included in that because it hasn't got the stone I like. So I went to, when the whole symposium was finished, and we were so welcomed. It was so nice, so kind, so fantastic thing. I just really. So I went to Kerala first. No, to Kerala. I went to Goa first to find places where I could work. I found places, but I didn't like them. Then I went to Goa, to Kerala. No good stone. I went to Karnataka. No good, very good stone, but the environment near the quarry was not that good. And I asked, hell, come on, where can I go? I go to the artist village in Chennai. They probably have something to go. They started their career there. They built some huts first because there was free building. They could build that, and they started this village. And I came there when just where they had built up a museum that is probably the only modern art museum of people from Tamil Nadu there is now. You don't have it. You don't have a national museum in Chennai, and you have that. It's a kind of national museum. And it was nice. It was beautiful. There were a lot of houses. There were a lot of big. And I met artists, but it didn't work. Didn't work for me. So they said, "Well, go to Pondicherry. Go to Pondicherry. Pondicherry. There are quarries and there are artists, the sculptors, and so on." So I took the bus. Everything this happened in 15 days, in 20 days. So I took the bus. I went to Pondicherry. I went on my way to Pondicherry. The bus stopped here. And when I saw this, I said, this is the place. So not here, but the square, there at the bus station. And I just went down the bus, took a room at the first hotel there, Mahab's Hotel, and there was a total new world that's open for me because there were at that time there were tens of workshops there around, small workshops. But so I rented a motorcycle and went around just to look at some workshop. I connected with a couple of more workshops, but it's something didn't say it doesn't work here. I want a place to work. I want a place to stay. And so I came here. Here there were 2 huts and paddies. Nothing more. You have nothing. You have some walls, the walls of this, but not even. Almost not even finished. So it was and I just sat down. I was sitting here, just in a place there, and listening to the people. Everybody was working by hand. And there was something that attracted me. So I just, after half an hour, I said, who's the boss? And they can, Mr. Bhaskaran, you know him, and I don't know if he's coming or he's not coming. Anyhow, he came out, and he's a very silent person. He looked at me, I look at him, I said, well, I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm here, blah, 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 blah. I'm 3 days, I have to take the plane back to Sweden, but I would like to come in November. And probably take with me some people. Yeah, I just wonder if you have the possibility, or if you give me the possibility of doing this. Yes, it's just, I can't find my place. I have 15 years of experience of organizing workshops, so I can't do it. Okay. I said, I write you a letter now, internet letter this evening. And tomorrow morning I'm coming. You read the letter, and you give me a kind of answer. Yeah. Okay. So I went away, and I wrote a letter. The morning after I came here. He was not only, he had a friend of him too, and asked him, well, did you read the letter? No. Okay, but I printed. So I had to print because I know I have been contacted with people. I mean, not him, but it's very difficult to get people connected to stone and like to write or to read or to write. So it's just. And he read the letter, and he gave the letter to read to his friend, and he said, "Well, okay, thank you." That was my support. I said, really. That was the okay. For me, I came back in November with that so-called okay. But I managed in a way. We understood each other, and since then, we started a collaboration that as giving this, especially as giving that. Now, Mr. Bhaskaran, the art master Bhaskaran, he's a personality here, very, very, very well known. Everybody would Bhaskaran. He knows that. He is a self-made man. He left school when he was 14. He moved to the College of Architecture and Art here. He studied for 8 years here. He came out as a teacher, but after some years, he said he was not interested in teaching. It was too secure, so he opened together with 3 other friends what they called the creative sculptors. He got up, really, he was ambitious. He made it. For him, still is extremely ambitious. So we just start working for like that. The first group we had about 10 people. The second year we had about 20, 25. And all these are professional people. So they are not amateurs, because I can't accept amateurs. I'm professional artists. They don't need to be professional, but they must work professionally with pictures. So architects are welcome, photographers are welcome, art directors of culture, everybody that works with images the whole time, because they know what to do. And then to learn how to knock the story is something you learn quite quick. So since then we have 250 artists coming here. Everyone spends between 2, 3 and 15 weeks here, and they go home. Then they work on their projects, and they go home, and then we send them the crates. That's the basic. So the basic, and what is and 50% of the artists, they come back, year after year after year, and they come back because not only because the temperature is nice in the winter, and it's like, but because this is a connecting point between the old traditional and what it will be, the modern. Now, you don't see much modern sculptures here. You don't see them because I'm taking projects here, and the project, you do it, project, and we send it back. But little by little, we will have here artists, Indian artists coming here, and they will work their own projects. They will show their own projects. Will take some years more, but we will do that. So this connection between tradition and modernity. That's what's important. But at the same time I took the decision to be here, to stay here. I stay here 9 months a year, and to stay here, and why not to die here? I find it much better. I feel much better. The whole thing is much simpler, much easier for us. I've been fighting quite a lot in Europe because I've been politically interested, I've been economically interested, I've been extremely much culturally interested, and everything is connected to each other. And then, come here, I can do my projects, I can do that.
What was your first sculpture, or what was the first thing you made by your hand?
Here?
In your life?
Oh, it was a tree.
It was a tree?
I sculpted a tree. I made a tree.
Or where is it?
Yes, because it's unfinished.
Unfinished?
Yeah, of course. I remember something that for an artist, the sketch is more important than the finished. It doesn't matter if you're a painter or you're a drawer or you're a sculptor, exactly the same way. is the sculpture. So in a way, the tree that is growing, still growing, is it's not growing, but of course I have to finish it. So is still there.